Hey friends, here to provide the June update for the Marathon of the Month uh, endeavor. So far, so good, but June was quite different than any of the other months so far. And but glad to officially say I do have 6 marathons and or 50Ks in the books, and we're looking forward to July. But here's the race report for the month of June, the 6th marathon in 2026. Originally traveled to Philadelphia the first weekend of June to run the Half Sour, Half Kraut Trail Marathon and visit with family and have a good time. The day before the race, I think it was the day before, they canceled the full marathon due to the heat that they expected on race day. Even though it was in a park and there was considerable shade, they didn't want to do the marathon. And for Philadelphia, I guess it was going to be around 90 degrees by noon. So they said, well, we're still going to have the half marathon, so let's do that. So I went ahead and traveled to Philadelphia and had a good half marathon, used it as a threshold effort. I ran a 1:37, but it was a pretty tough course. There were 2.5 miles that were technical trail in this park. I think it was called Pennyback Park in Philadelphia. But came in, I think it was 8th place overall, and fastest old guy again, at least Grandmaster. Don't remember if I won the Master, but anyway, it was a good day, and I'll show you one of the, this is the award, which was a German weather clock for winning my age group, so I thought that was pretty cool, like that. And yeah, so I mean, it was, let me show, I think I got the medal too, which the German theme was pretty cool. So there's the medal. And afterwards, the awards were great. They had bratwurst and some non-alcoholic beer. And I wore my lederhosen for the post-race party and celebration. So I got into the theme. It was a good time. And then, of course, I got some great time with family, Joanna and her daughters, and got to see an aunt and uncle while I was up there. And of course, did some history tour, went to Independence Hall and a few other places, Liberty Bell. And so just had a good 2 or 3 days in Philadelphia, but I did not get the marathon in. So quickly, I had to pivot and find a marathon in the last 3 weekends of June. Really hard to do, but I had to settle on a marathon in Winter Park, Florida, the last weekend of June, which again was a little dangerous if they would have canceled that one. But Saturday, June 27th, I believe it was, 26th or 27th, and down in Winter Park, Florida, which is just outside of Orlando. Of course, another hot race. But you know, it's going to be what it's going to be. So I took my oldest son, Shane. He went down with me, and we stayed in the downtown Orlando area. The race started at 5 a.m., so their way to avoid the heat. So we had to get up at 3:30 in the morning, drive over, set up the tent and chairs, and probably the best part of the day is a lot of my high school buddies came over from New Smyrna Beach, Sanford, DeBary, South Florida, and Dan and Ronnie and David and Chris. They came over and crewed me for the marathon that day, which was awesome. They got up really early, but I guess the two primary struggles. One was the heat, of course. The other was the actual marathon course. It was on a trail in Winter Park through a couple neighborhoods, but it was a 1.1 mile out and 1.1 mile back on the same piece of trail. So I had to do that 12 times. I think by the 10th time I was a little bit over it, but that's okay. The weather worked out great. I actually finished the marathon by 8:30, before 8:30. I ended up running a 3 hour and 20 minutes, something like that, marathon, which first place overall. But I got to admit, this was a very informal race. They did hand timing. It was called the Independence Double. So they ran both Saturday and Sunday, a 10K, a half, a full, and a 50K. I only signed up for the one full marathon on Saturday. But I did have the fastest marathon time for both days, so happy with that. But it was not a race effort for me, not in that heat. But it was flat and pretty quick. Stayed hydrated, didn't have any issues with hydration or fuel. It was a good day from that standpoint. But, I'm looking forward to July just to kind of see how I'm dealing with the heat of the summer. But so finished the race around 3 hours, 20 minutes, and hung out there for another hour cheering on all the other runners from our chairs and our tent. And then we went to the local Irish eatery, Fiddler's Green, there in Winter Park. Had a great brunch and, a drink or two to celebrate with everybody. And my son Shane got to hang out with the big boys, the older guys, and hear some stories. And it was a good weekend. That we rounded up with baseball on Sunday and then drove home. So 6 marathons on the books. Super happy. I'm healthy. Nothing is hurting after the race. Just, you're a little bit of soreness when you're running a decent pace of, 740 something for 26 miles. So I'm going to rest for a couple days and get ready for the Sombrero Sizzler in July over in Jacksonville with Mike Martinez and his crew. That'll be a 6-hour run. So see how many miles I can get there, but I got to at least get 26.2 so I can keep this marathon streak for 2026. Anyway, appreciate you listening, and would love to hear any feedback from you. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you out there on the roads or trails or something sometime soon. Y'all take care.